What's up, everyone? Sergeant Arterbird here, and today we're going to be continuing our series about Napoleon. Wow, we've been doing this since like the summer, I think. But I hope to redo their Waterloo video. But anyways, today we're going to be doing part 2 of Napoleon's Marshals Part 5. Splitting it up into 2 because, you know, this video is 40 minutes long. I don't want to make like hour-long videos. Oops, what did I do? Now I've already had people like complaining about some of my videos being too long. So yeah, we'll just start from here. Watch the remaining part of the video. Without further ado, let's get started.
But fought back bravely, helping to win victory. Napoleon then entrusted Ney with command of 3 army corps, 84,000 men. But the plan for him to fall on the enemy's flank at bouts went awry. Badly drafted orders led to delay, and the coalition army was able to escape. Ney fought in the Emperor's great victory at Dresden, but 10 days later at Dennewitz, his limitations as an army commander were horribly exposed. Throwing himself into an attack, he lost control of the battle, and was badly beaten by Bernadotte's army of the north.
Oh no, you donkey.
Ney was devastated by his defeat, but Napoleon kept him in command of his northern wing. At the gigantic 4-day Battle of Leipzig, he commanded the northern sector, holding the line until a shoulder wound on the last day forced his return to France. He rejoined the army in 1814 and fought in the defense of France, commanding the Young Guard, and personally leading a bayonet charge at the Battle of Montmirail.
The Young Guard. Sounds familiar to me.
In April, Ney, outspoken as ever, was among the first to confront Napoleon with the reality of his position and force his abdication.
My gosh, she looks angry in that picture.
Ney was feted by the restored Bourbon monarchy as France's...
He was what?
Ney was feted by...
Fated, what does that mean? Let's have a look. Definition of fated. Oh.
Do you want to hear the remaining one?
To like honor someone. I guess. Like to honor something or someone. I don't like that.
By the restored Bourbon monarchy as France's greatest soldier. But he could not hide his contempt for the returning aristocrats who treated his family with disdain. When the king's niece reduced his wife to tears, Ney confronted her, shouting, "I and others were fighting for France, while you sat sipping tea in English gardens." In February 1815, Napoleon escaped from exile on Elba and landed in France. Ney was horrified by the prospect of civil war and promised the king that he'd bring Napoleon back to Paris in an iron cage.
Oh. I wonder how many, like, generals were actually, supportive of Napoleon, as opposed to, like, people like, Marshal Ney, who didn't want Napoleon to be back. Because, like, I know probably the majority of the generals and marshals like Napoleon, because, you know, there was that one famous point in history where all those, like, soldiers were like, "Oh, we're gonna shoot you." And Napoleon was like, Napoleon said, "I'm your emperor, no." And then they were like, and then they said, "Oh yeah, you're right," and then they joined him. Something like that.
But he soon saw that the army was flocking to Napoleon's banner. When Napoleon appealed to him directly as the hero of Borodino, Ney made the fateful decision to cast in his lot with the emperor once more. When Napoleon advanced into the Netherlands in June to take on Wellington and Blücher's armies, Ney commanded his left wing.
Oh my goodness! Okay, wait a minute. They look very outnumbered, though. Like, look. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them.
But he made a string of blunders,
What?
Again,
What are you supposed to be one of the best?
Wellington's troops at Quatre Bras, he was too cautious when he held the advantage. 2 days later at Waterloo, Napoleon left much of the tactical handling of the battle to Marshal Ney.
Oh boy.
It was a mistake.
He was supposed to be one of the best, though. I don't understand.
On his own initiative, Ney launched a series of mass cavalry attacks too early and failed to launch any coordinated attacks on Wellington's position until late in the day. He had 4 horses killed under him and personally led the last doomed attack by the Imperial Guard. Ney's courage that day was awe-inspiring, but his decisions helped to cause the French defeat. In the aftermath, Ney spurned several chances to flee France and was arrested for treason by the restored monarchy. A military court refused to pass sentence, so his case went to the Chamber of Peers. With the king's allies demanding that an example be made of Ney, the outcome of his trial was never in doubt. 5 of Ney's fellow marshals were among a large majority who voted for the death penalty. On the 7th of December 1815, he was marched into the Luxembourg Gardens in Paris. "Soldiers, when I give the order to fire, fire at the heart," he told the firing squad. "Wait for the order. It will be my last to you. I protest against my condemnation."
Dang. That's a cool line.
"I have fought 100 battles for France, but not one against her." Marshal Ney was among the most inspirational battlefield commanders in history. A born soldier and brilliant tactician, unless his fiery temperament got the better of him. He lacked the confidence for high command, but under the Emperor's supervision,
Look at the sideburns, wow.
he proved one of the Grande Armée's greatest combat leaders.
Wait, I wanted to guess what it's called. Marshal Soult?
Marshal Soult.
Oh, same thing. I should have made a great example and had Soult shot. He was the greatest pillager of them all. But he's just one of the best. What the heck?
Jean de Dieu Soult was from a small town in southern France and enlisted in the Régiment Royal, aged 16.
What is the regiment?
He became a tough, capable sergeant, and in the build-up to the Revolutionary Wars, joined a new battalion of volunteers as their drill instructor. Soult's self-confidence and bearing meant he was soon made an officer. The unit went into action against the Prussians in 1793. In a brutal baptism,
I'm gonna charge my thing.
half the battalion became casualties, though Soult's own conduct was praised. After a spell on the staff of General Hoche, he joined General Lefebvre's crack vanguard division. Soult learned much from Lefebvre, a future fellow marshal, serving first as his chief of staff and later as his best brigade commander. Soult's rise from sergeant to brigadier general took less than 3 years. In the process, he won a reputation as an organized and decisive commander and brilliant tactician. He also began a bitter, long-lasting feud with another rising star, General Marshal Ney. In 1799, Soult established himself as one of France's best divisional commanders, fighting under Massena's command at the Battle of Zurich. He was then put in charge of 3 divisions to pursue General Suvorov through the Alps, proving his ability for high command. In his report to France's new first consul, Napoleon Bonaparte, Massena wrote, "For judgement and courage, Soult has scarcely a superior." The next year, Soult and Massena were besieged in Genoa. Soult led a series of daring raids on the Austrian lines, until he was shot in the knee and captured.
Oh no!
Spent days in agony in a filthy hospital, an episode that may explain Soult's later reluctance to leave from the front. On his return to Paris, Soult received
That
a
sucks.
hero's welcome from Napoleon.
Oh, that's good.
His rewards included an honorary rank as Colonel General in the Consular Guard, plus command of troops assembled at Saint-Omer for Napoleon's planned invasion of England. Soult, the old drill instructor, imposed strict discipline and trained his men hard, earning the nickname Bras de Fer, Iron Arm. Even Napoleon wondered if he was being too severe, to which Soult replied, "Those that can't handle what I myself endure will be left behind in the depots. Those that can will be fit to conquer the world."
Oh.
In 1804, Napoleon proclaimed his new empire, and Soult received his Marshal's battle. The next year, his impeccably drilled troops became 4th Corps, the largest corps of the Grande Armée, and marched east to take on the 3rd Coalition. That December, at Austerlitz, Napoleon entrusted Soult's corps with the main attack on the enemy center. As he issued his final orders to his marshals, the Emperor turned to Soult last and said, "As for you, Soult, I say only, act as you always do." 4th Corps' attack was the decisive blow of the battle, though it's
I guess his tactics were good.
success owed much to Soult's exceptional divisional commanders, Saint Helena and Van Damme. With victory won, Napoleon acclaimed Soult the foremost maneuverer in Europe.
Cool.
However, it was observed that Soult was now less inclined
He looks really different. Look at that.
to expose himself to enemy fire, taking a more managerial approach to command, though his planning, organization, and tactical instinct remained superb. The next year, Soult's corps
Well, I would want to stay out of the action too. That was shot in the knee. Had to suffer through all that.
played an important role at the Battle of Jena, and in the pursuit of the defeated Prussian army that followed. In the
What the heck happened?
battle at Eylau,
Oh, it works. Okay, never mind.
Jena. The next year,
This
Soult's
is even
corps
working.
played an important
Okay,
role
it
at the
is.
Battle of Jena, and in the pursuit of the defeated Prussian army that followed. In the brutal winter battle at Eylau, his troops held the center of the line. Soult's relationship with Napoleon was excellent. The Emperor frequently turned to him for advice, much to Marshal Berthier's annoyance. In 1808, Soult was ennobled as the Duke of Dalmatia, and later that year led a corps in Napoleon's invasion of Spain. When the Emperor returned to France, he entrusted the pursuit of the British army to Marshal Soult. The British nicknamed Soult the Duke of Damnation, and he harried them through the mountains of Galicia to La Coruña. But in battle, he could not break their lines, nor prevent their escape by sea. Soult then marched south and occupied Porto, where rumors began that he was considering crowning himself King of Portugal.
What?
Whether the rumors were serious or not, in May, the British and Portuguese took Soult by surprise,
Oh no.
drove him out of Portugal with heavy loss in men and supplies.
How is he the 4th best then? Doesn't seem to be doing very good.
This was the most ignominious chapter of Soult's mixed record in the peninsula. 5 years that saw sparks of brilliance, but also missed chances, shocking avarice, and a reluctance to cooperate with other commanders. Later in 1809, Soult replaced Marshal Jourdan as King Joseph's chief military advisor, and led French forces to a crushing victory over the Spanish at Ocaña.
That's good.
He then oversaw the French occupation of southern Spain. Appointed governor of Andalusia, Soult administered the region with cold efficiency from his headquarters at Seville, though avoiding harsh measures where possible. He lived in royal style, and notoriously looted Spanish churches on such a scale that he soon amassed one of the great art collections in Europe, worth an estimated 1.5 million francs.
Why would you do... That's rude.
He was increasingly aloof, and even his aides found him difficult to like. Soult's character is hard and above all egotistical, one wrote. He takes no more than a passing interest in those around him. In 1811, with Marshal Massena's army stalled outside Lisbon, Napoleon ordered Soult to give support. Like many
is something bad gonna happen?
of Napoleon's long-range interventions in Spain, the objectives were unrealistic. Yet Soult marched north with 20,000 men, capturing Badajoz,
Oh, okay,
but
never mind.
withdrew on receiving news of an enemy landing near Barossa.
Oh no!
2 months later, he marched north again to relieve Badajoz, now besieged by the enemy,
Okay.
and met Beresford's larger army en route at Albuera. Soult launched a flanking attack that threw the enemy into confusion, but he failed to follow up his advantage and left the tactical handling of the battle to others. Nor was he on the spot to inspire his troops, and his army suffered a bloody defeat. The next year, Wellington's victory at Salamanca forced Soult to abandon his palace
Whoa,
in Seville
he's going far! Look how much land they're losing.
and retreat to Valencia.
What? They had to retreat like halfway across Spain.
Though that autumn,
sucks.
he had the satisfaction of reoccupying Madrid and pursuing Wellington's army back to the Portuguese frontier.
Oh.
In 1813, Napoleon summoned Soult to Germany, where he fought at Lutzen and supervised the main attack at Bautzen. But when news arrived of the calamitous French defeat at Vitoria, Napoleon sent Soult back to Spain to take charge. Soult inherited a demoralized, disorganized army. He quickly imposed order, turned it around, and attacked. It was an impressive feat, but his mostly young conscripts were up against experienced, well-led troops. 2 attempts to relieve the besieged garrison of San Sebastian failed. Soult began a fighting retreat through the Pyrenees mountains back to France.
At least you have the
Despite the
mountains.
limitations of his demoralized conscripts, he ensured Wellington's army had to fight every step of the way, counter-attacking whenever possible, and offering resistance till the end, even as Napoleon's empire began to collapse.
Wow.
The last battle of the campaign was fought at Toulouse, a bloody and unnecessary one, as Napoleon had abdicated 4 days earlier.
Oh no.
Under the Bourbon Restoration, Soult became an unpopular Minister of War. Like Marshal Ney, he initially opposed Napoleon's return from exile, but saw
Oh great, my cat wants to come in.
which way the wind was blowing and rallied to the Emperor. Napoleon made several dubious appointments in 1815.
Oh.
One was to pick Soult as his new chief of staff, replacing Marshal Berthier. Not only did this waste Soult's command abilities, since his new role was merely to implement Napoleon's orders, Soult also inherited a complex staff system of Berthier's own devising. Crucial errors resulted during the Waterloo campaign, with orders going astray and commanders unsure of their role. Soult's warning not to underestimate Wellington's army was dismissed by Napoleon. You think that because Wellington defeated you, he must be a great general. I tell you that he is a bad general, that the English are bad troops, and this will be over by lunchtime. Following
are you
Napoleon's defeat, Soult lived in exile until 1819, then returned to France under a political amnesty.
What is...
After the July Revolution, he served as a reforming Minister of War, and 3 times as President of the Council of Ministers, effectively France's Prime Minister. He also became the
Cool.
grand old man of the French army.
Whoa, he looks so different. Did he at least get punished for, like, stealing all of that stuff from Spain?
Elevated to Commander-in-Chief with the exalted rank of Marshal General of France. Soult died aged 82 in the same town
Oh,
where
wow.
he was born,
He lived a long
known
time.
today as Saint-Amand-Soult. Soult's record as a marshal was mixed. A brilliant and intelligent organizer
Mixed? Then why is he rated like number 4?
whose ability to deliver a master stroke or inspire his troops to victory waned with time. Yet he was one of the few marshals.
Okay, sorry. I wonder what would have happened, like, if he didn't get shot in the knee. Like, I wonder how much better he would have been as a general. Like, he would have been in the front lines, inspiring his troops, instead of, like, being more cautious. You know, I don't know. I wonder what would have happened.
that Napoleon could trust with a large independent command, a quality he needed desperately, but found in short supply. Suchet, Ney, Soult. Join us for...
Oh, 3 more. Okay, so there's only 1 more episode. What the heck? Wow, that went by fast. Well, hold
For the
on.
final part of Napoleon's Marshals, as we reveal our top 3, coming soon.
Cool.
Brand new to the Epic History TV store, Manga Marshals. We have 10 of the...
Okay, no thank you. Okay. We're just gonna ignore that. But thank you all for watching, everyone. That was a very nice video. It just came out recently. It did not come out recently. February 18th. What the heck? I wonder if they have a new episode out by now. But let me know in the comments. I'll go check. But thank you all for watching. And my next videos will probably react to Tick a little bit. Why not? And also a video about the 30 Years' War. But without further ado... Okay, but anyways, goodbye. Hello everyone, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. And, you know, turn on the notification bell thingy. And if you didn't, then make sure to leave a thumbs down. But yeah, that would be greatly appreciated. And while you're at it, go ahead and watch my other videos. They're probably just as good, and if not better than this one right now. Except for my oldest videos, don't watch those. And, you know, subscribe to these people down here, my fellow sergeants. They're other YouTubers that I either know or I have in high regards. Yeah, even my cat agrees. So, thank you for watching, and have a great day.